Welcome back to Been There, Watch That. I'm Justin. I'm here with Dave and Joe, and we're your favorite movie reviewers out there. We're on social media. BTWT Pod stands for Been There, Watch That. Check us out. Leave a comment. Let us know. There's got to be some movies out there that we just have no idea about, and if we hear from you, we'll take it into consideration and do a review on it. Also, BeenThereWatchThat.com. Go back and see me skewering Die Hard, Dave skewering Howard the Duck, and a lot of good stuff on there.
Oh yeah, been there, watched that. Some of it, regrettably, watched that.
So we do a rotation. We each do a pick, and then we've got this list of just a bunch of stuff that people have submitted, and we do a random number picker on that, and do a fan pick. We throw that in the rotation as well. But this week, the 2009 film I Love You Man, picked by
Yeah,
Dave.
heck yeah. Hey, nothing like throwing down mop buckets galore.
Are we starting this already?
Yeah, I'm on a roll, baby. Woo!
We need someone to go crunch the numbers and give us our average score that we
Yeah.
each of us.
Mine's mop bucket. What are you talking about? I'm giving it to you. I don't even need to crunch the numbers. I know what it is.
Dave's
Yeah.
saying we're on a roll, and I'm thinking, yeah, crap does roll downhill.
Oh man! All right, well, walk us through the stuff here, Joe.
All right. So, our rundown on this movie is successful real estate man Peter Clavin has it all: a great job, a beautiful home, and a loving wife to be. Unfortunately, due to his devotion to both his work and his fiancée Zoe, Peter has failed to make any friends. With his wedding fast approaching, the pressure is on to find a best man, and so Peter embarks on several desperate attempts to find a best buddy. And for our casting call, a pretty star-studded event here.
Yeah, it's a big one and this movie kind of came under the radar for me, but I was like, it's got a lot of big names in it.
Yeah. So it stars Paul Rudd, who plays Peter Clavin, and he's known for Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Jason Segel plays Sidney Fife. He's known for Forgetting Sarah Marshall, The Muppets, and Freaks and Geeks. Rashida Jones plays Zoe Rice, and she's known for The Office, The Social Network, and Freaks and Geeks. Jamie Presley plays Denise, and she's known for My Name is Earl, Not Another Teen Movie, and Joe Dirt. John,
Favreau.
thank you,
Fabro.
plays Barry, and he's known for Iron Man and Avengers Endgame. Jane Curtin plays Joyce Clavin. She's known for Saturday Night Live, Third Rock from the Sun, and Coneheads. J.K. Simmons plays Oswald Cleveland, and he's known for Juno and Spider-Man. Andy Samberg plays Robbie Clavin, and he's also known for Saturday Night Live and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And Gene Belipke plays Leanne, and they're known for AP Bio, 30 Rock, and Better Call Saul. And that is your casting call.
You got another Office cast member, Aziz Ansari. He makes a couple cameos.
Yep,
He
Nick
was in The
Kroll.
Office?
Yep.
Yeah, he came in as a couple guest episodes.
Maybe
Yeah.
not. No, I'm thinking Parks and Rec. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, did he not come into the office as well?
Well, I'll have to look him up.
Maybe not. Anyway,
Well,
Nick Kroll is also in
Yeah.
there, who's in a lot of little things. So I'm going to say this right off the bat. All the background characters just made this movie fantastic. I mean, you look at, what was the guy, Mather Zickel, who plays Gil, just when they're doing the fencing thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, yeah, everybody knows that guy. He's the jerk that, that just can't take losing, but yet, sorry about that, bro, got a little heated. But, just a funny little quips back and forth, and, I don't know.
Yeah, Andy Samberg's character.
Oh,
too.
Andy Samberg rocked it. What a good character for him, and man, did he play
He's
it right.
playing gay in this one.
Gay little brother. And I thought him and, the dad,
Yeah, J.K.
Oswald,
Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, did a little back and forth, like,
Yeah.
yeah, my best friend, Duke Madukas, and, of course, Robbie here. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, fist bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The
You know,
dad,
it's just like, what the
the
heck?
dad, a very rough, kind of old school
Yeah.
looking guy, and with the gay son, they're just kind of broing it up. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, his
Not the
commentary
dinner
about,
table. Yeah.
his gay lifestyle is just like, yep, that's what a dad would do.
Okay, so I actually have a would you rather for Robbie
right.
Clavin. So
Already.
do you want to
That's
jump?
where we're going already.
I was gonna say, do you guys want to wait or do you
No,
want to jump in?
throw it out there.
Okay.
Let's see it.
So I have a very short would you rather list.
Okay.
So for Robbie Clavin, Would you have rather seen?
Hold on, I'm going to jump in right now and say nope. Andy Samberg just hit like grand slam home runs.
Really?
Yeah,
So,
but go ahead.
Okay, so
Bring it
it
on.
would be Andy Samberg or John Bernthal.
Nah, Andy Samberg.
Gotta have Andy in there.
And you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and then for the buddy Tevin Downey,
Yeah.
would you rather? Let me see who played Tevin.
Rob Hubel.
Yes. Would you rather have had him or Thomas Lennon?
Now that I could take, because I felt like Tevin was an interesting character, but I mean anybody could have kind of played that role and been an office guy.
Yeah. So it could have went.
So he could have been interchangeable. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. He had to have a professional look,
right.
and then he had to, sending him pouring over the computer and stuff like that. So he had to have a little bit of a, smile and just be that guy. But
Right.
I mean, I
could've
feel like
been-
the's a lot of people that could pull that role off pretty easy.
Yeah, he could have interchanged.
I mean, you can
them
pretty much put
quick.
Justin in there and it'd be like, oh,
Pretty much anybody. Yeah.
be a little
Yeah.
ornery, be a little obnoxious, and then yet, but you be pretty.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But Paul Rudd, you can't really swap him out. I mean, he's central to this movie, I think.
I think it fit
Yeah.
his personality.
Yeah, I couldn't find. So that's literally my casting call. Like I said, it was a short one.
Really?
I couldn't really find a lot of.
Even with Rashida Jones, you didn't think Zoe could have been played by someone else?
Well, I didn't see anybody that they had
Listed
discussed.
as- yeah.
Listed as
I
possible.
mean, I kind of see that because she's kind of like that all-American sweetheart girl,
yeah.
And then I thought John Favreau and Jamie Presley were just perfect.
Oh yeah.
She's kind of snotty and uppity and, tells it how it is, and he's one of those guys that's gruff and rough and, frat guy in college and just, yeah, he's a jerk and I don't care.
Yeah, Jamie plays that role very well because
Yeah.
my first exposure to her was on My Name Is Earl, and
Yeah.
she was very demanding in that role. So
Yeah.
she plays that role to a T. I mean,
Yeah.
she is very good at, and because I've seen her in stuff that in certain roles where like she's trying to play a little more sensitive, and
Yeah.
I'm going,
Nah.
I've seen you do this. So
Her
unfortunately,
facial
I've-
features just don't lend herself to
Yeah,
being
unfortunately,
scary.
I've seen you more of a typecast in that role, more of a leaning, strong, don't
Yeah.
take any nonsense kind of role. So it's kind of hard to buy into the little more sensitive role.
And I kind of like Joe Truglio, who played Lonnie, and Thomas Lennon, who played Doug.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh, how do you throw in those B-line characters that just are so memorable?
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Truglio sitting there with a high-pitched voice, sounding like an elf at the
Yeah.
at the soccer games, and just in the gym and stuff, and then Thomas Lennon, where he walks like a whore, just that dry sense of I can't believe you betrayed me, and I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's fantastic background characters.
Yes.
So, all right, since we already jumped into Would You Rather, I'm going to jump straight into when you think of this movie, if you had to describe it to somebody, what scene would you pull up?
Oh, him getting kissed by the guy on the date.
Oh.
Because I'd seen this.
Oh, gosh.
I'd
Yeah.
seen this back, however long ago.
Yeah. I like it when
It's
he's
been
in
a decade
bed.
since I've seen it, but that was burned in my head.
I like it so good when he's in bed with Zoe that
It's
evening,
like an
and
ashtray
she's
in
like,
there.
yeah, she's like, and he's like, yeah, you really got up in
You've been
there,
kissing someone?
yeah.
It's
Well.
like, yeah. Their dynamic is hilarious.
Yeah,
The
it
two of
is.
those together.
I like how he keeps trying to do the Jamaican accent, and he's like, yeah, leprechaun. It's like, why does everybody feel like I'm a leprechaun?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought Jason Segel was the right fit as well. Big and goofy, but yet kind of
Yes.
carefree. And,
Mhm.
I like how I got a masturbation station in the
Yeah.
man cave, just talks about real things. And, for me, I thought back to it, and I was like, everybody kind of has that one friend that you discuss things that you would
Everything.
never tell anybody else.
Yeah.
Masturbation station or,
Yeah.
and he's like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. And he's like, because, you might not ever see me again. It doesn't matter. It's one
Yeah.
of those things you just open up and you got to
Yeah.
have somebody.
Yeah, those are that is one of the few friends that that like you could call and they would literally help you haul off a dead body.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's one of those. It's a rare
Bring
find.
a shovel. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes in and kind of shakes things up a little bit for Paul Rudd's character, who's kind of always
Yeah.
wanting to project, oh, everything's totally fine, everything's good, but he's like, no, really, tell me.
Yeah. What do
Because
you?
he asks about his sex life, like the first time they hang out. Because he meets him at that open house, and Jason Segel's basically like, yeah, I'm here for the sandwiches.
The food.
He's
I'm here
like,
for the spread.
You know what? Thank you for the honesty. And
Yeah.
and what I thought was great is how they had sewn in Lou Ferrigno in this, and Lou Ferrigno had basically no premise of the movie, but was still able to sew him in, and it made sense. I thought that was just awesome. Because Lou Ferrigno, everybody knows is the Incredible Hulk,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it had to get him into a comedy like this, but yet make sense was phenomenal.
And I thought he did a good job there. You know, I liked it that he kind of portrayed this sensitive guy that, you know, is like, hey, that was just a character I played. And he's like, come on, Hulk.
Yeah.
He's like, please stop saying that. My
Yeah.
name is Lou, you know.
Yeah.
That's a TV show. Oh, Hulk, you know.
But you still wanted to see Lou just pick him up to the lawn dart
Oh,
him
yeah,
across
yeah.
the room.
It's kind of crazy. When he put him in the sleeper hold, he's like, I've gone out.
Yeah.
Man, Paul Rudd's skill is that he's able to like get real close to a line of like he's almost cringy, but you feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
But he's like such a nice guy that you're rooting for him at the same time. But you have to see him go the stuff he has to go through. That's what makes the comedy. Of it.
Yeah, the
But
billboards.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the scene I always go back to. Is just the billboards. It's like what? Imagine you're trying to sell yourself or sell your product or whatever, and then all of a sudden just all this.
Yeah.
just-
So, Joe, if you just drove through our hometown here and you're like, huh, and you saw billboards of you up on there, what would your reaction be? Would you be like, all right, heck yeah, somebody's looking after me? Would you like, oh, crap, would you pull a Paul Rudd? You got to take it down right now.
Yeah, it would depend on which ad was showing.
Well, of course, the cowboy one.
Yeah. But what's the funny part of it is, as many people know me, they'd probably just laugh and go, "Yep, that's Joe." That's what's scary. That's what's scary is there are people in this area that would look at that and go, "Yep, that's just Joe," and they would just write it off and wouldn't think twice about it.
So if we did, let's see, Joe, the fastest IT guy in the West, or
Yeah.
I can fix your computer in my sleep. Yeah.
Paul Rudd's
Spencer's hottest IT guy.
Yeah. Paul Rudd's big issue is that he's like, I don't know. It seems like the guys don't really like. They find him kind of annoying. Like
Yeah, he's more
Or
like
like
a girl hanging
or
out.
bro kind of get together. Yeah,
He's feminine.
he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
'Cause,
Doesn't
like,
mesh well with the guys.
Yeah, when he goes over Barry's house, he doesn't. He's sitting there like, hey, what's the little game he does? Beatles or Stones
Yeah,
on 3, 1, 2, 3, Beatle. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, what are you doing? This isn't middle school, man.
You're
Yeah.
a dork. Everybody's just like,
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah, let's trying to figure out who invited this guy.
When
And
his
then they-
wife and all her friends come
they're like-
over, he's all like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He's making them the little drinks. He's like, hey, yeah,
Yeah, I felt bad for him. He was just doing too much.
Yeah.
yeah,
Peeking through the door, and he can hear them kind of talking about him. Like,
yeah.
he needs to get some guy friends. It's kind of weird sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Which it just depends. The dynamic is different. So I think traditionally men are gross and do boat races with beer and
Yeah.
sit around, smoke cigars, and eat crap food and play poker, and women sit around and gossip. So you kind of had the portrayal of those traditional roles, and then he broke out of that,
Yeah.
He
but
was,
then
like,
tried to
super
break
nice
back
and
into it.
thoughtful, and like,
Yeah,
just totally on top of that.
right.
part
And,
of it,
and
but
his fiance
What
is
a
like,
man.
"This is the greatest thing ever," and her girlfriend's like, "No, you need to,
You're not seeing the whole picture
And you
here.
see the relationship between Barry and Jamie Presley. I can't remember her character's name, but you see their relationship where it's more traditional. We hate each other, we don't want to have sex with each other, but we got to negotiate it out.
Right.
You do this, well then you're wearing what do you say, the cheerleader outfit or the maid something.
yeah,
I don't know.
John
Yeah.
Favreau. I mean, he played that like
Yeah.
jerk husband to
Yeah.
a T.
What did he ask him when they're at the bar and the reception dinner thing? He's like, "Hey, do you like Rush or something like that?" He's like, "No." Or do you play a musical instrument? He's like, "No, I don't play anything." "Do you play music? I gotta go over here." And he
Yeah.
just walks away.
Oh, he hates us.
"You don't play anything?" I
John
was like,
Favreau's character
Yeah.
cannot stand
yeah.
the Paul Rudd guy but he's doing it as a favor to his wife. 'Cause
Yeah, he's
friends-
negotiating for sex.
She's
He's like,
friends
yeah.
with Paul Rudd's fiance, and it's like, just let him hang out at poker. He's like, oh gosh, who is
Yeah.
this guy?
And he pukes on
Ends
him.
up, They do like a drinking contest, and Paul Rudd projectile pukes on him. It's like, get out of my house.
Oh, that scene grossed me out. Just the projectile vomit. I was like,
Oh, man.
Now, what I really liked Andy Samberg. He caught my attention and kept me laughing and kept me thinking. And even some of the stuff like what stands out to me is when he's like, hey, I'm moving on to trying to, flirt with straight guys. And Paul Rudd's like, what? What? And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's thing. And then, so, of course, they're at the gym, and he's following him around at his job, where he's a personal trainer.
right.
And, and he has a moment with a straight guy. He's like, yeah, he's straight. But and then he shows up with him on a date later, and he's like, yeah, that way? He's like, yep.
Yeah, he's like,
Need a new challenge.
spotting these guys as they're lifting. He's like, all right, good set. Maybe
Yeah.
in the locker room, like, we'll give you a rundown or whatever. He's
Yeah.
like, good job out there. Like
Yeah.
all the straight guys at the gym are like,
And I like that they have their
Loving it.
conversation, and he's like, yeah, thanks for hooking me up with, I forget what he called the Joe Trillo guy. He called him a name because he's got the high squeaky voice. He's like, yeah, one more rap, yeah. I'm like, yeah, thanks for hooking me up with, the Muppet guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Just some funny name. Just those little offhand comments and that back and forth with those back characters is what kept me laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
I did. So, is there any negatives? Did you see anything that you're just like,
Well, like Justin said, the kissing scene was kind of cringy.
Well, I think it was supposed to be though.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be. So it did its job very well.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, you got to be kidding. You had to see that coming, and he didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was his character.
Right.
poor Paul.
I didn't like the ending where he's riding on a scooter, and he's rushing to get to the wedding and all that. I just felt like, they would.
Almost like we got to finish this. Let's just kind of slap it together.
Well, I just felt like Sidney Fife, his character, 90% of the movie was being that outspoken guy. I just felt like at the end he's like, hey, I'm gonna be at your wedding. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Because that's who he was.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's like, well, we're no longer friends. I'm just giving up. That didn't seem to be Sidney's MO.
Right.
So I felt like at that end of the movie was just kind of like, I don't know.
Kind of missed the mark on that one.
Yeah, he would have pushed his way in, which I know. I mean, you kind of had the cliffhanger plot that you have to have at every movie.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with you, Joe. It's just kind of like, well, we have to have this part in there.
Well, now, did you guys know that this movie actually caused international issues?
Yeah, Omar Sadat's daughter has filed a lawsuit,
Yes.
and they took that out of any Egyptian movies.
Oh, see, I didn't know they took that part out.
Yeah, it's a part of the facts there that
'Cause I know that they
yeah.
sued the producers.
They asked for an official apology from the U.S. Embassy, and any copies sold in Egypt had to have that scene removed.
Okay, because I didn't see that part. I seen where they asked the embassy for an apology, and of
Yeah.
all the luck, it never came.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Do you know? So Justin, did you know about that?
No.
So it all started because of Sydney's dog named Anwar, after Anwar Sadat, the Egyptian president who was murdered in 1981. Following the movie's release, his
Yeah.
daughter sued the producers because comparing a human to a dog is a serious insult in Egyptian culture.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and this
Oh, man.
script sat on a shelf for 11 years.
Really?
Yeah, John Hamburg had looked at it and was like, hey, maybe I should take this, but he was always busy, and then he finally rewrote it a little bit and signed on to direct it. Yeah. And Rush, the Rush concert, they
Yes.
stayed around and played an extra hour
Just for that.
for the crew and all the people that were there for that part.
That's cool.
Can you imagine? Yeah, saying getting to film them playing, and then they're like, "Hey, just hang out. We'll play for another hour." That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kudos to Rush.
Yes.
But and I like Rush. And Sydney's drum set's a replica of Keith Moon, the infamous Vistalite Goldfish set that he used taping the old rock program, the Midnight Special in 1975. Which I don't know anything about that, but
Right.
that's pretty
Well,
cool.
I found it interesting because, let me see. So Jason's character on Freaks and Geeks
Yeah.
is also an inspiring drummer.
Really?
Yeah. Like, on there, he has, like, his big 20-piece set, and he can't play worth a lick, but in his mind, he's going to be the next big drummer. So as soon as I seen that, I was like, ooh, that's he was a drummer on Freaks and Geeks as well, but there was literally no mention of it anywhere. It's like, somebody missed the mark on that one.
Yeah.
I know I can't be the only nerd that caught that.
Yeah, I mean, so it's one of those things that it involves a little bit of everything. You got the bromance, it's got the typical. So just for the sake of the stance, boy meets girl, but it's boy meets boy. They strike up a friendship.
Right.
Everything's golden in the beginning, have a little turbulence, and then they fix it at the end. So a little bromance movie, so to speak. Very little violence, and the violence it did kind of have was funny, slapstick kind of deal.
Right.
Positive role models, friendship
Right.
in a way, and then a little bit of sex stuff, but nothing, X-rated. I don't know.
Right. Definitely some F-bombs here.
Yeah, a lot of language, and then some drinking and stuff like that. So.
Right.
But overall, a little bromance movie, just
Yep.
for the guys.
I thought they did a good job of like playing into as if normally things that somebody would have to experience like in the dating world, but Paul Rudd's character is like doing it to try to find a friend. So it's like
Yeah.
he's on these websites.
I like the old guy that he met
Yeah.
at the restaurant. He's like,
That
how
old
long you been? How long you been using the internet? Oh, a couple of years.
Yeah, that old man was awesome.
Yeah,
It's like, well, you're
picture's a
quite
couple
good.
years old. Yeah,
So you're good at using the internet. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's, like, totally
just been
catfished
catfished.
him. But just him kind of squirming too, because he's got Cindy's business card. And he's like,
Yeah.
do I call him or how long do I wait?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
And I
that.
like he's getting advice from his brother, which is Andy Samberg. He's like, dude, call him up. He gave you his card. Clear
Right
time.
at the end, he's leaving a voicemail, or no, he's talking to him on the phone. They're going to meet up for lunch. He's like, all right, see you in the gym. And then hangs up. He's like,
Oh,
why did I say that?
the whole
He's
argument,
like
the
so
whole,
nervous about
yeah,
having a friend.
the whole trying to give him a nickname and saying dumb stuff. I mean, I can relate to that. I say some dumb stuff occasionally, more often than not. But I mean, I was like, oh, so embarrassed for him. What do you call him? Jobbin? Like, all right,
Yeah.
Jobbin. I'm like, oh, I tried to mash together two things, just didn't work. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, his
it-
wife's like supporting him the whole time. Like, oh, that's so great. You got a date with a friend.
Yeah.
He's like all excited for it. It's funny.
Yeah, I gotta say the job, and you're sitting there, you're cringing because
Yeah.
for him. So I like movies where you have those little cringe-worthy moments, like they're not over the top. Because even the kissing scene, yeah, it was cringe-worthy, but it's like it was
And I love how
well deserved
turned
and well
into
appreciated.
Yeah, it turned into a bedroom scene that came back later. It's like, yeah, you taste like an ashtray. I
Yeah.
did not see that coming.
Right.
I was just like,
He's like,
oh
Could
man.
you go
Yeah, because
brush your
there's
teeth, please? He's like, yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
like his comments. He walks away. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go to chemicals on this one. Mouthwash again.
because some movies just go for cringy to be cringy, but when
Yeah.
it's well written like this, it's
Yeah.
very entertaining.
Yeah. It's funny.
Oh,
All right. Well,
Uh,
the usual deal of, how many home runs can I hit? So,
yeah.
Here we go.
For
Here we go.
People that haven't seen it out there, basically, he thinks he's meeting up for a possible friend for dinner, but the guy has other ideas.
Oh, yeah.
So as they're
their conversation is so
partying for
funny
the
too.
evening,
Yeah.
he like goes in. Did you see that coming, Joe? Or you've never seen this movie, right?
Yeah, I had not seen this movie.
Did you see that one
The
coming?
kiss coming.
No.
It's
'Cause
funny because I agree with you, Justin. It's the whole conversation based around, man, we could be friends. Yeah, we're hitting it off. And the other guy, totally, yeah, we're hitting it off. I'm going to get a good night kiss out of this deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's easy for me to talk today. While I was watching it, I kind of attached it to almost like the 40-year-old virgin,
Yeah.
but in like a completely warped setup because instead of trying to find a date, he was just trying to find a friend.
Yeah.
But he was kind of taking the similar steps of the 40-year-old version where, working so hard to achieve his goal, but when he actually just stepped back and pumped the brakes a little bit, it worked out way better
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
in the end.
Well, and I thought it was funny going back to that where he saw the guy in the tuxedo fitting scene, the same guy that he got the kiss from, comes by and he's like, oh, no, I understand. Well, I can't remember what he said to him. Crap. He didn't call him a whore or anything, but he said something to him.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, but it was just, you don't have to say anything. I put myself out there before he gives him that whole little spiel, I was just like, that's bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
what a way to tie that guy back in.
Yes.
So that's what I really appreciate about this movie. Is you had all these backstory characters that just keep looping through. You know, like Joe Torello back in the gym, squeaking. You know,
Yeah.
his high pitched voice.
And it was so well written. Like
Yeah.
you didn't see it coming, but you appreciated it. They didn't pound, hit you
Yeah.
over the head with it, and it made sense. It wasn't one of those, hey, let's just throw back to him because we can.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Yeah, and that's and his brother being gay and just looping back with the straight guy.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
No.
And honestly, I've seen this movie a couple times,
Yeah.
and then watching it in this capacity, I saw that guy again. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even notice that the first time I watched it. But yeah, it's that same guy,
Yeah.
and just those little digs. So yeah,
Opening weekend, 17.8 million, ranking number 2 at the box office.
Really?
what was number one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't say.
No,
What was the budget on it?
40 million,
Well, that many.
made like
A-line.
90 million worldwide.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's a good call.
Now, I've heard, I don't know, some podcasts I listen to, there's people that like kind of bemoan the fact that they don't make movies like this anymore. Like I mean, can you guys think of a recent like comedies that are in a theater?
Yeah,
You know, kind of buddy comedies or things.
bromances.
It's more like
It's all action stuff.
thing that they were doing back in the 2000s, but they're just kind of
Well,
gone.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
I would throw Peanut Butter Falcon in this kind of category.
Well, but Peanut Butter Falcon was kind of different because
It was different, but it was still.
Yeah, because this is more of a comedy, more heavy on the comedy than anything. Peanut Butter Falcon's kind of more of a feel good.
Yeah, I just mean it's more of like a friend.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a
friend
buddy.
movie.
It's a buddy movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
buddy movie because
Yeah.
that's that whole premise. So
Just,
that-
it's kind of a different angle though.
yeah, definitely a different angle. What's the number one rule?
Party.
Yeah, I guess. But for the most part, yeah, the studios are looking to do the $100 million
Yeah, oh
big
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
over the top.
Actions, blowing stuff up. So
Or-
yeah, sorry Joe, there were no explosions, no
$40 million
gunshots.
like buddy movie. I don't know. I've heard some people say like those days are gone or something.
Well,
Well,
it's a massive cast though,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's true. How do you spend $40 million on this?
Just the cast alone. I mean, look at the
I
who's
guess the
who.
cast would cost you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just kind of hanging out in the real world. There's no huge.
Yeah, like they're in
Explosions or
houses,
effects
a
or-
mansion, in his office. I mean, it's not like they tore
Well,
up a bunch.
plus the fee for Rush. It's hard to tell what that fee
Yeah,
was.
that's true too.
I
Must
mean,
have been a heck of a fee because they hung out for an extra hour.
right. I mean, I'm sure they did it out of the kindness of their own heart, but a couple zeros will.
They might be
change
like,
their
"Hey
mind on
guys, we're
things."
getting a couple million for this. We're
Yeah.
gonna do an extra hour." For
Yeah,
you."
a couple extra zeros on a check can change things.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, well, let's sum this baby up.
All right.
I'm mop bucketing this one.
Are you serious?
Nah, overflowing large. Overflowing large for me, just because I think I could recommend this movie to just about anyone,
It's totally solid.
and they would
Yeah.
enjoy it and have fun with it. And there's all those little, the squeaky Joe Torello and the gay brother, and
A certain person, I think, not to call them a prude or anything, but people that are not as big on the languages. Some people might have an issue with this.
yeah, I could see.
Some of the themes are a little
Yeah.
adult and
Yeah,
but for the most part, yeah.
but I just mean I
Solid.
think it's a fun film. I could recommend. Say, hey, if you're just looking for a feel good comedy, there you
Yeah.
go. I love you, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
Easy one to watch and giggle with, and not any super plot that you have to follow. You don't have to necessarily pay attention. You still get to just the movie.
Right.
I mean, one of those things. So yeah, that's why it's an easy overflowing large for me. And I thought the cast just hammered it.
Oh yeah.
Andy Samberg, all those Beeline characters. Like I would almost say Paul Rudd and Jason Segel had their own little deal, and then you just had all these Beeline characters that were so fun to watch in the backstory.
Right.
Can you do a quick ranking, Dave, of your favorite characters? Like, do like the top 3, 4,
Andy
5?
Samberg for sure.
Number 1, all right.
Yeah.
Where do you put Siegel and Rashida? And
I
Paul?
put those three main characters as probably 2, 3, and 4,
Yeah.
and then what's the guy that he went on a dinner date and he kissed him?
Yeah.
No, I'd have to go with the dad. The dad's got to be up in the top 5.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, Andy's definitely in the top 5 for me
I
as well.
I like Andy Samberg anyway.
Right.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of my favorite things to watch. It's not a movie.
I think Siegel did a good job though too.
He did. I mean,
top
he
3.
carried the character well,
Yeah.
but I did not see Andy Samberg coming.
Yeah.
Like when I first watched the movie, Andy just kind of comes out of nowhere, you know. And
Yeah, because at first when they're sitting at the dinner table, you just think that they're just going to pass him off, and that's the last time you're going to see him.
yeah. And it's so funny because he plays that little brother that's kind of the
Favorite child.
yeah,
and,
favorite child. I know more than everything about this than you do, and
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're going, well, he's a jerk.
smug about it.
Yeah, and you're going, well, you'll probably never see him anymore, or it probably won't leave the dinner
Yeah.
table if you do see him again.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, he plays an integral
right
part
back
in
in,
this
yeah.
movie.
So deadpan in the way he does it too. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't go over the top with like playing a gay character.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Like,
no.
He's just very like deadpan the way
Yeah,
he
yeah,
says
he-
everything.
Yeah,
Funny.
It's just a lifestyle, dude. That's how it is.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so-
Okay.
All right, you two go. What are we looking at?
All right, Justin. You want-
Sure, I'll throw my 2 cents in. Yeah, Dave, I agree with what you said with the supporting characters. Yeah, just a plethora of funny little extras that are added in. I thought Paul Rudd, very solid. Sometimes a little bit cringy, almost, but that's the design of it. You're supposed to feel
Yeah.
a little uncomfortable with how the stuff he gets himself into, but he does that super nice guy role
Well,
very well.
speaking of that, did you guys notice when he went through the office, he always had a good relationship with the women in the office?
I did not notice that.
Yeah. Just if you think back to it or you watch it again, you just notice he always said, "Oh, hi," you know, and "Hey, how's it going here?" And
Yeah, I just thought he just didn't get along with Tevin because Tevin was a jerk.
well, yeah, he is.
He's an
But I just
idiot.
mean, and then like in
Yeah.
the lunchroom, he meets up with 3 girls, you know, and they're having he's part of their lunchroom conversation.
Yeah.
So just something to pick up. Anyway,
Yeah,
all right, so go ahead, Justin.
When he goes on that dinner date and gets kissed too, I think during dinner at one point he's like, "Man, it's so nice to meet like a nice guy.
Yes.
I've been meeting so many like jerks lately." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah." And then, yeah, I love Rashida Jones. I think she's hilarious in this, the way she supports the whole story moving along. So yeah, not a whole lot I could say bad. Maybe just a couple little things that I thought were a little bit silly, but overall, solid comedy. I'm going large.
Really?
Mm.
So I'm gonna be the
Don't do it, Joe.
I'm gonna be the little downer here.
No, you are not. What did Cena say?
Honestly, I forgot to ask her.
Oh, man.
Our schedules last week's been just crazy.
Did she stay awake through it all?
Yes, she did.
All right, that's a mop bucket for her.
Yeah. So I'm going solid medium on this one,
Medium, you're crazy.
and here's why. Was it a very entertaining movie? Absolutely. The cast, we can't give it enough praise. I'm giving a medium because for a comedy, I think just the way the movie plays out is more of a niche.
Yeah, I can
following.
see that.
Yeah,
And-
because there's some comedies like that it's just it doesn't matter, language or not, storyline, not plot, whatever, that people just follow to. This one, for whatever reason, I just found that it's kind of more of a niche comedy that it would be harder to sell on someone, and that's where I'm basing it on.
It's because they didn't blow anything up. It's because the fight scenes weren't real fights. He just got choked out and he just yelled at some people.
Okay, yeah, but it had Lou Ferrigno. I mean,
I know. See, that ought to boost it up for you.
right.
That's
But-
got to push you up into the
So,
large.
see, now you see why I'm having this hard time of not wanting to give it a higher ranking. For me, it's a little harder of a sell if I was going to recommend it to somebody. So it's just going to be a medium. for me.
Joe. Disappointing.
He's had a solid medium though. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he wants to say large, but he's just not. Fine. Rain on my parade, Joe.
You're welcome.
I bring you the bestest of the bestest, and you just medium. Yeah. All right. So you got your pick for next week, you were saying?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So
I'm
so
interested.
this pick has nothing to do with this, but I found it very interesting.
Okay.
So this one has a
Well,
throwback.
hold on.
Okay.
Back up to how you made your choice. I'm always interested.
Algorithms. It's always the
I know
algorithms.
you use the algorithms, but
Yeah.
what did you Did you base it off of this week's choice, your last choice, the
No,
fan pick?
I go through our list of movies that we've watched,
Right.
and what I do is I always go through the algorithms until I just run dry on that movie. So I'm still back to What About Bob?
No way.
Yeah, on my list. So I'm still pulling from that well.
Okay.
So this movie I'm picking, so this week's movie had some cast and characters from Saturday Night Live. Pure coincidence.
Man, that opens the door to like a lot of comedians.
Yeah. My next pick it also includes cast from Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
I like it.
And we're talking the 90s.
Hold on.
Okay.
So, Justin, do you know enough about Saturday Night Live to make a guess at all?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't either. So I'm thinking.
So it's going to be from the 90s Saturday Night Live cast.
Gosh.
So that'll
Hold on.
narrow it down.
Chris
I don't
Farley?
watch Saturday Night Live at all. So I'm
Chris
thinking.
Farley, 90s, or he was later?
No, he was in the 90s.
Okay, so that's
Adam Sandler?
the Belushis, maybe Chevy Chase, John Candy. Is that
The Belushis was 70s.
70s? Okay,
yeah.
so
Wayne's World?
No, not Wayne's World.
Huh.
But Justin did mention the cast already. Part of the cast.
hold on. Who'd you say again?
Wayne's World?
No. Who was your cast?
Adam Sandler?
No, you said Farley, Chris
Yeah.
Farley, right?
Yeah.
So Black Sheep.
No.
Tommy Boy?
Tommy
Yes,
Boy.
Tommy
Tommy
Boy.
Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going.
Classic.
Tommy Boy.
So I'm going. So as Dave said, I'm going to steal your line. Just go ahead and start pouring the mop buckets in.
Oh, come on now.
I'm
Tommy
going-
Boy.
This one I'm going to have. This will be a hard job for me next week because this is my all-time favorite. I can sit and quote the movie from the beginning to the
No
end.
way.
Comedy movie, yes. This-
Tommy Boy.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is my all-time favorite. So this one I'm going to have a very difficult time looking at it from an analytical standpoint.
What's the one? Black Sheep's the one where he sells brake pads and stuff.
No, that's this one. Tommy Boy's where he sells brake pads.
Okay. What's the other one where
Black Sheep's when his brother tries to run for governor.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had him
political thing.
confused. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we got David Spade and Chris Farley.
This has Rob Lowe in it, and
Oh, yeah, Rob Lowe does a good
Is
job.
Rob Lowe and Tommy Boy?
Yep.
yeah, he's the fake step brother.
No, that's not Rob. Or who'd you say?
Rob
Lowe.
Lowe.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking of who was I thinking of? Played in The Animal.
I've probably seen this
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
5 times because as a kid I just thought this was the most hilarious movie ever. So
I like the car. They got it like a
Rob
GTA.
Schneider. I was thinking Rob Schneider.
the
Yeah,
M&M's going down into the car.
Yeah.
In the dash, I know.
Yeah, that
Like,
really ups the
oh.
value.
Yeah.
And what's it? Not Dana Carvey. What's that guy's name?
David Spade.
David Spade. I
Yeah.
thought, David Spade's a funny one.
Yeah.
Got that dry sense of humor, and he's a little squirrely fellow anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
Tommy Boy.
It's good to rewatch this. Like you
I
said,
mean,
Joe, from an
I don't know about mop buckets, Joe.
An analytical standpoint.
Yeah,
Go back to
this
this classic.
Like
it's
I
kind
said-
of like a slapstick comedy. I don't know.
Like I said, this was going to be hard for me to look from an analytical standpoint.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm with you because it is a favorite of mine as well. It's one of those that what's it? Fat guy
Yeah,
in little
little
coat. And I haven't seen the movie in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
But you have those scenes
Yeah.
that are just like ingrained in your deal.
Yeah.
He's like
And when he
washing
hits,
him off with the gasoline at the gas.
I like it when he's like, "Is there like a mark here?" He's like, "Well, not that you would notice, but it kind of hurts in this area."
Look, ship shape.
I don't know what happened to your car door. It just kind of like fell off.
Well, yeah. Well, what'd you do?
Did you eat a lot of paint chips as a kid? Why?
Yeah. Oh gosh. All right. Well, if you want to join us next week,
Yeah.
Tommy Boy,
That's right.
Yes.
Chris Farley, David Spade, and a return for Rob Lowe. I feel like.
Yes.
I mean, he was kind of out of, he did the whole Rat Pack deal in the 80s, fell off the radar, and then,
He was in The Outsiders, right?
yeah,
Yes.
The Outsiders, he was in, Oxford Blues, he's in a lot of movies there, St. Elmo's Fire. But yeah, okay, well, good pick, Joe. I like it. I'm excited for this one. Always nice to have a little comedy involved. So, okay, close us out.
All right, so for all of our news and reviews, check out our website, beentherewatchthat.com. Follow us on social media at BTWTpod. And send us a comment and recommendation on movies that you want us to review. Or tell us if we're dead on some of these movies, or if Howard the Duck doesn't really require all that backlash that it has gotten. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Been there, watch that. We're on all the major platforms, and all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
All right, been there, watch that, and of course, you know, this last movie, I Love You Man, pulling in all mop buckets, not a problem. We'll see what Tommy Boy has in store for us next week. So, been there, watch that. For myself, Joe, and Justin, we'll be back next week. Tommy Boy, Joe's pick. We'll see how he fares. Everybody have a great week.